Behold, denizens of the intellectual agora, I come bearing a cerebral convocation of unparalleled proportions, a veritable tempest of dialectical fervor on the subject of our anointed Hasanabi and his quizzical foray into the tempestuous waters of conservatory opinion.
I'll take it one step further. I even think, despite the unethical nature of its development, Mount Rushmore is kind of a cool thing. This is probably my least woke opinion. I don't know. I legitimately think, I straight up think that these like really large statues of people is dope. Nah, that mountain's I saw a bad take. I disagree. Lost me on that Rushmore. Okay, you guys would love it if it was Lenin's head carved into the side of a mountain. Like, I'm saying, structurally, I like the concept, okay? Don't act like you wouldn't think it's dope if it was a Lenin head on the carved to the side of a mountain. I would. The problem with Mount Rushmore is like what what it represents is indigenous land that they stole and then, you know, carved some of the people that were responsible for the genocide onto it. Yeah, also, yeah, the Konoha Hokage faces are sick in Naruto. Like, I am unafraid to recognize, okay, this is my least woke take. I think they're sick. This is the most male opinion you've had. Like, the Crazy Horse statue is lit. Like, that's gross because it's a Confederate monument, right? Like, but if it wasn't a Confederate monument, that would be kind of cool. People hate this take. Okay, it's good. It's good to have healthy disagreements. Again, what about Charlottesville in 2017? All that Robert E. Lee? No, man. No, you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying it's cool to have these like massive statues dedicated to tyrants, dude. I'm saying the principle of having large statues is kind of cool, like the Jesus. Have you guys ever seen those TikToks of like these real large like man-made sculptures? Like they got them in like China and India, and like they're sick. They're dope. I really like giant monuments, dude. I'm sorry. I am, and this is 100%. This is 1000%. Maybe a not woke take or whatever, but I think they're sick. Yeah, even the Statue of Liberty, like, is dope. Brother, you said this in the context of these monuments of tyrants being brought down. What else are we supposed to think? Wait, isn't Crazy Horse the Confederate statue, chat? Am I wrong? Isn't that the one that's carved to the side of that mountain as well? I might be thinking of someone else then. No, Lamau? Oh, Stone Mountain is the Confederate one. Crazy Horse is the native one. Sorry, I was thinking of Stone Mountain. My bad. This one is what I was thinking. The park is owned by the state of Georgia, and there's like in the middle of it, there's just like a Confederate memorial carving on the side of the mountain. And if it wasn't a Confederate memorial, like that would be sick.
Verily, let us sally forth into the rhetorical labyrinth wherein our subjects, least woke, musings on the architectural and symbolic grandeur of gargantuan effigies, monuments hearken to both folly and awe, are dissected, deconstructed, and reconstituted with the phlogiston of polysyllabic verbosity and hyperobfuscation. Primum movens, the psyche of Homo sapiens finds itself magnetically enraptured by the cyclopean leviathan of architectural audacity. Herein lies the crux of Hasanabi's contemplations, the aesthetic veneration of the monumental as an idea fixe, stripped, or so he contends, from its miasmic concatenation with historical indignities. To bifurcate the discourse is requisite. On one hand, we have the symbolum tyrannicus, a commemoration of despotism ensconced within stolen terror. On the other, we encounter the magnitudo absolutus, an apolitical paeon to structural grandiosity. The interlocutor's insistence that the hypothetical Leninist promontory or Hokage visages evoke kindred awe merits neither dismissal nor outright derision. Indeed, one must ask, does the psychodramatic allure of stone hewn by human hubris not tap into a primal archetype, a Jungian imago of power eternal? Whether Zeusian titans of Greek mythos or the colossi of Ramessium, the world's monumental fabric is a palimpsest of dominion, aspiration, and, dare I say, spiritual transcendence. But herein lies the gnarled Gordian knot. To abstract the concept of cool from the sordid underbelly of its progenitors is a labor of Herculean magnitude. The interlocutor's approbation of Mount Rushmore, qua megastructure, cannot extricate itself from the ligatures of its historiographic import. It's as if one were to admire Nero's Domus Aurea, a splendid bacchanalia of imperial architecture, while conveniently bracketing the crucible of tyranny whence it arose. As Hasanabi himself posits, the principle of enormity in human craftsmanship might elicit exultation were it transmogrified into ideologically palatable effigies. Yet, the interlocutor's peroration, while seemingly heretical to the orthodoxy of wokeness, dances on the precipice of an Aristotelian golden mean. Might one not appreciate the aesthetic puissance of Confederate iconography, not as an endorsement of the ideology, but as a lamentable relic of bygone hegemony? Such rhetorical sleights of hand evoke, dare I assert, a quasi-Hegelian synthesis where the monumental converges with critique. Hasanabi's subsequent expatiations upon the indelible sin of stolen indigeneity that Mount Rushmore embodies terra sancta defiled are cogent reminders of monumentality's duplicitous soul. The sacrilege and visages of genocidal architects upon sacred escarpments compounds the semiotic insult. Yet in juxtaposition, the interlocutor's invocation of Crazy Horse's colossal visage, a counter-monument born of indigenous reclamation, operates as a symbolic antithesis, a reclamatory palimpsest striving to overwrite the cultural hegemony inscribed upon its lithic substrate. To reify the interlocutor's argument is to wade through a morass of contradiction. Does not the enshrinement of any visage upon nature's canvas constitute a diminution of its sanctity? Or might we reconcile this apparent paradox by positing that human ingenuity, in its most unadulterated form, is itself an homage to nature's sublimity? The interlocutor's digressions into the digital agora of TikTok reveal yet another dimension of his meditations, the globalization of monumentality. His enthusiasm for India's towering statues or China's vertiginous Buddhas suggests an ecumenical admiration transcending political or historical exigencies. Herein lies the crux of his least woke take, an aesthetic cosmopolitanism that, while eschewing parochialism, risks lapsing into an uncritical fetishization of scale. And yet one must concede the interlocutor's revelatory awe is not without merit. In a world increasingly dominated by the ephemeral, digital bites and transient memes, the enduring physicality of monumental craftsmanship serves as an anchor to humanity's tangible aspirations. The interlocutor's admiration for these edifices of aspiration, while arguably naive, is also profoundly human. From Nietzsche's Übermensch to the pyramids of Giza, the monumental has forever been a stage for humanity's Dionysian struggle against oblivion. Hasanabi's musings, encased in the comedic patois of his stream of consciousness style, inadvertently channel this Nietzschean ethos. The sickness of these edifices, he laments, lies not in their form but in their function, as tributes to oppressors and thieves rather than avatars of collective human triumph. But here, a contradiction germinates. Does not the interlocutor's valorization of the hypothetical Lenin mountain or Hokage visages expose a latent yearning for iconography unmoored from its oppressive baggage? And does not this yearning betray a deeper universal impulse to reimagine the monumental as a tabula rasa, a canvas for egalitarian myth-making? To encapsulate Hasanabi's divulgation in the style befitting a symphonic crescendo, one must recognize the dialectical tension at its core. The interlocutor's least woke take is neither wholly conservative nor irredeemably regressive, but a complex mosaic of aesthetic idealism and historical myopia. It is an invocation to grapple with the monumental's Janus-faced nature as both testament to human ingenuity and repository of historical trauma. In summation, Hasanabi's exegesis invites us to transcend binary polemics and engage with the monumental as an ontological artifact, a bridge between the profane and the sacred, the ephemeral and the eternal. Let this essay stand as an obfuscatory monument to the interlocutor's paradoxical candor, a hymn to the gargantuan and a dirge for its desecration.